I'll take you back to one of my patients. She had a very severe swelling in her ankle. So she went to her general practitioner, and obviously she got some analgesics. She felt slightly better and nothing could be done. In a typical scenario, she was referred to an MD physician. MD examined her well, and a lot of reports were done. Nothing very intense came up, just her thyroid hormones were slightly low. So she was referred to an endocrinologist that find out what's wrong with her, why there is a swelling in an ankle, why there is pain. The endocrinologist said, everything is normal, just the thyroid is low, but the swelling is not because of the thyroid. So you go to an orthopedic doctor. And the orthopedic doctor examined her joints, lot of investigations, CT scan, MRI scan, X-ray. And he said, he gave some painkillers, not good result, and he said, go to rheumatologist. And the patient went to rheumatologist, again, series of investigations, some medicines, nothing concrete. Finally, she was labeled, maybe it's a functional, some mind symptoms, some stress-related symptoms, go to a psychiatrist. Luckily, she came to homeopathy for that, and she got a good relief of all her symptoms with the medicine. This is just a small example what happens with patients, a lot of it. Now, when patients come to homeopathy, how do we look at patients? What exactly do we do with the patients? What is homeopathy? Let's go a bit into details of it. Suppose you're going out and there's some dust particle that goes into your nose. What's a healthy response to it? 1 or 2 sneezing, the dust is out and you're fine. But just with some dust particle, if I continue to sneeze, let's say 50 times, 70 times. So 50 sneezes, and what happens to me is I develop some rhinitis, some problem. Or the dust particle remains in my nose. So it remains inside and there is a chronic problem. So hyper response or a hyper response is a problem. And one more example I can give you. I love to eat food. I go outside on the street, I eat some food. The food was not good. I develop severe loose motions and there is dehydration. There is a problem. Or if this infection remains inside, there is no response. Again there is a problem. Let's go to a mental level. Suppose if there is a fight with somebody. Nowadays the traffic is such a bad issue. You are driving and somebody just cuts your car and you get down and you start fighting. And you get so angry that you want to kill that person. Or you get so scared that you just want to run away from there. So if we look at it, that every person has a unique pattern of physical responses and emotional responses. In different spheres. Respiratory sphere or stomach sphere or mind, all of us are different. So in homeopathy, what we do is we find out your physical problems, your physical reactions, your emotional reactions, as you heard earlier, what we do. And what happens once we give the medicine? So all your responses come more towards health. Your physical reactions are much more healthier, much more milder. Emotional reactions are much more milder and much more what is healthy. If it reacts, if it is needed to be angry, you'll be angry. If it is needed to be sad, you'll be sad. That's health. So if I go back to this slide, this is the pattern. This is what we call as just an energy vibration or energy pattern or your state. This is what is disease for us. This is our energy, vital force, that's what we call it. So when patient comes to us, this is what we need to identify. And that energy, we put it either into plants or animals or minerals. So when patient comes, we ask about every system. The symptoms are taken, what is the organs and cuff? Give us the symptoms of that. What's your nature? What's your liking? What's your disliking? And then we call it PNEI axis, that is psycho, neuro, endocrinal, immunological axis. So every system, the symptoms are taken. So we need to identify the person as a whole. That's the main principle of homeopathy. Suppose if I look at just one individual leaf, am I going to get the whole idea of the whole tree? This is a similar thing. If I look at an ankle swelling, I'm not going to get the understanding of the whole person. Okay, if a botanist is good, just simply by looking at one leaf, he can tell you everything about a plant. But it's better to look at the whole plant, not only just one leaf, but one branch, but the whole plant. And this exactly gives us a good success in homeopathy, because for us, this person as a whole is the most important part. Other aspect of it is we find out what is peculiar in this disease. For example, there is a patient of migraine. So each patient of migraine will have very peculiar symptoms. The type of headache will be different. What aggravates it more? What makes it better? Those symptoms will be very different. So two patients of migraine would need completely different medicines. And we see similarity not only in terms of migraine per se, but as a patient as a whole, his nature, physical nature, emotional nature, and every aspect of it. So it's commonly said we see who's the person who's affected rather than just the migraine or just the disease. And that's why just last week I had a patient and her main problem was the nails were bad. There was a fungal infection. So when I started taking the history, so patients started asking, why are you asking about my dreams? My problem is with my nails. This is exactly what happens. So in a case, when we take the case, what we do is, you must have seen the form. All of you must have seen the form. So there is a very detailed case-taking form, which covers every system, mentally, physically, every aspect of it. So we ask about the disease, any other complaints that you had in past or present complaints. Dr. Rajan already spoke a lot about the nature, that how we find out what are your tensions, your worries, and detailed aspect of it, which is the most important part of it. Your dreams, what you like, your cravings and aversions in food, your sensitivity to weather, and many, many more aspects of it. Let's go one step further. How homeopathy works. Let's take a simple example of infection in our chest. A lot of time we see kids falling sick with some respiratory tract infection. If we give antibiotics, what happens? The bacteria, the infection which is there, the antibiotics kills the bacteria. And you start feeling better with respect to that. But in homeopathy, the approach is slightly different. We stimulate your energy. We stimulate your energy to fight the infection. So maybe this time it may take a day more to recover. But second time, your immunity is much more stronger to fight the infection. Rather than killing the bacteria with antibiotics, we prefer that you become stronger, your immunity becomes stronger, and you fight the infection. And this is not only about the infections, this is about every disease. A simple example is we call hormonal disturbances. There are a lot of females here and you would all agree that my menstrual problems are there or something. So rather than giving hormones from outside to stabilize the cycles, we stimulate your energy that your hormonal system becomes okay from within. So the main aspect is stimulating your energy to heal. And that's why what happens, the frequency and intensity of the diseases go down, the attacks, they go down, and your immunity goes up over a period of time. This is a simple phenomena. And then there are a lot of questions. Are there any side effects of homeopathy? A common thing it is said that homeopathy is good only for chronic diseases. If you have some acutes, if you have some problem, very urgent problem, then rush to your family doctor or an allopath. This is so many document cases we have, and many of you must have even experienced. If you have a fever or a cough or a cold or any small acute problems, in fact, homeopathy works much faster in it and with less side effects. A very simple phenomena, when you have some issue which is for 20 years, you do not expect it to disappear in 20 days. Of course, you give it some time. You have diabetes or you have a chronic back problem or a chronic recurrent problem, it takes time. But acute problem, it shows much faster and much quicker result. Issue of side effects, a very common point. Or sometimes we ask, is it good for small kids, infants, pregnant ladies? What about it? Is homeopathy safe? Are there any side effects? Our simple point to convey here is homeopathy stimulates your energy to fight. It stimulates your system to be healthy. So if I give you a wrong remedy by mistake, your energy will not get affected by it at all. It will refuse. It will just work like a placebo. So there is no question of any side effects. Homeopathy, that's why it is considered so safe. The only way it works is by stimulating your energy. And your energy will never do harm to yourself. And that's why it is supposed to be the best for children, best for pregnant, and no side effects. And so many times accidentally we have seen, oh, my child finished the medicine, my medicines were lying there, and child consumed the whole bottle. What do I do? So many times we get this kind of calls.